Thank you very much, gentlemen of the press, and Happy New Year to you. You recall that in September, I came to see Mr. President to invite him to Ebonyi State to commission some of our completed projects and lay foundation stones for some of our ongoing projects, especially the Ebonyi State International Airport. But while we were in Paris together, I asked him to defer the visit to the first quarter of 2022, which he graciously approved for me. So today I came to re-invite him to come and commission our numerous projects in Southeast, in Ebonyi State, of course, in Southeast, from March 15th, 2022. So we are working on that. I also, briefed Mr. President on the ongoing international airport of Ebonyi State, of which I requested for his assistance. He's taking a due process, and I believe that Mr. President, if he finds merit in it, will definitely assist us to purchase airport equipment. So enable us commission the airport by the end of, about end of May 2022. Of course, we discussed politics. We also discussed security in Southeast. And that's the major reasons for the visit. Well, generally, yes and no. We discussed, politics as per the growth of our party APC in Nigeria and in Southeast. And of course, the interest of Southeast for the seat of presidency in 2023. And of course, I told Mr. President that without prejudice to whatever will be the decision of the party, which we shall all abide by, that if the party throws the ticket open or the zone to southern part of Nigeria, that I believe that with what I put in place in the past 6 years plus, that I will be running for presidency on the platform of APC. So I told him, and of course, he believes that whoever that wants to run for president of this country must have to consult widely and go to all the leaders, and that we must do everything to remove ethnicity and our religion in our polity, so that this country can grow. The Bible that I swore with, a section of it in 1 Samuel says that by strength shall no man prevail, and power and might belongs to God. He chooses whomever he wills, and he will do that in 2023. I'm not in contest with anybody, I'm in contest with myself. I wouldn't have done that without first coming to clear with Mr. President that there is this feelings in Southeast that I have not been president, and that our people feel that those of our leaders in the various political parties should indicate interest to contest. And this is fair and this is important. But at the end of the day, it is God Almighty and the political parties that we also decide. I'm not Mr. President who must have a final say on the date for convention. And I don't believe that the governor you mentioned should have spoken for the party, because if it is APC Governors Forum, we have a leader, the chairman, who is His Excellency the Governor of Kebbi State, He wasn't even aware of the meeting when I called him. And if it is the party administration, we have His Excellency the Governor of Yobe State, and I think these two would have been able to speak to the press if we were going to have such a meeting on Sunday. So myself, I was not aware, but I had to inquire from the chairman of APC Governors Forum, who wasn't also aware. And so I'm not sure the meeting held. But I read on newspapers sometimes when the party leadership came to brief Mr. President, and they told him February convention, and Mr. President says yes. It's not the man that says yes and says no at the same time. He's a man of integrity, he's a man of his word. So I believe that if he ever said February, that he's going to stick to that February. I am very sure of that. But it's for him to speak, or for the party leadership to speak. I speak for my state. Ohanese leadership should not play politics. Yes, they can speak for the interest of Southeast. They can speak for fair treatment to Southeast as a people, but as a matter of equity, justice, and fairness, and leaving a level playing field for all the political parties and the aspirants, they should not dabble into politics or whom to support, whom not to support. I think they will hear it just like they heard other political parties' aspirants. We also write them to notify them that, yes, they have capable sons and daughters that, if God wills, could do this job. I can't understand what you mean by the second question. I understand the first question. What is Buhari's presidency? Oh, okay. Oh, yes. First and foremost, it is not fair to ask what is coming to see, because I'm sure you know what Mr. President is coming to see. We have completed 13 twin flyovers, each one going between 300-meter length to 500. That's each of the twin flyovers. We are doing the next two flyovers. We have completed a mall that is not like any other mall in the entire West Africa. We've completed the best university in this country, and which we tagged, University of Medical Sciences, with all the center of excellence, all in with equipment. You have the artificial bed, center there. You have the best eye center. You have the cancer center, you have the liver center. You have the kidney transplant center. You have the heart surgery center. And so the center is the best of its kind in the whole of Africa. Mr. President will also be commissioning his very uncommon flyover complex, which he laid the foundation stone. And this flyover is quite complex, and it's called President Buhari's flyover tunnel. Mr. President will also see the first airport in West Africa being constructed, whose runway is being constructed with concrete. Mr. President will also be seeing the 3 industrial clusters. Mr. President will be seeing the biggest international market in West Africa. Mr. President will be seeing a lot of over 500 kilometers of completed 8 inches concrete roads. Mr. President will be seeing a lot of agric projects in the state completed, fertilizer plants and so on and so forth. God willing, if it's God's will and the wish of the people of this country, Umahi's presidency will be looking at, the same thing we did in Ebonyi State. Before we came on board, we were a state written off. We had nothing to write home about infrastructure. But I must commend the first 2 civilian, governors, Dr. Sam Ewu and the Chief Elechi. They did quite a lot because they came in the midst of the dust of the nation, Ebonyi State. And so they had, quite a lot of challenges. So I can say that they laid, the foundation upon which I started to build. And so there are a lot of things that we have done in Ebonyi. We have the best government house you can't see anywhere. We have the best ESCO chamber and the largest you cannot see anywhere. And so we intend to replicate the same thing. And I believe that with the little resources we have, and people have been asking us, how did you do it or how do you do it? And it's all about patriotism. It's all about fear of God. It's all about bringing, experience to bear. I've been, into the construction, since I graduated. So I have a lot, to give in terms of how to run governance as business, because you have to have the heart, to help the people. And that's what we've demonstrated about it. So we want to, treat the nation, if God permits, that what we've done becomes a microcosm of the macrocosm of which we expect. We also believe strongly that we will be able to, continue with what Mr. President has done. One of the greatest problems we have in this country is ethnicity, religion, and the unpatriotic, features of a lot of our people. And I think there is a need to engage, starting from where Mr. President would have stopped. Let me also add that as the chairman of Southeast Governors Forum, that I support a political solution to our insecurity problems in the Southeast. And of course, I mentioned it to Mr. President. And you see, political solution does not terminate the judicial process. And if you know Mr. President very well, he has always said, and he has always demonstrated that he wouldn't interfere with any judiciary, process. Everybody knows him for that. But you remember very well that if agreement is reached, between parties, and you don't expect Mr. President to be the negotiator, there are a lot of, federal government, officials. And so I believe strongly that Southeast, that proposing for political solution should be able to engage the federal government. After all, there's always what is called out-of-court settlement. But it's for, our people and, our brother Kanu to be willing, for us to truly engage so that we can find true peace in our region. Because the activities there, have destroyed a lot of the economy of Southeast. A lot of lives have been lost. And when we were shouting it that it wasn't going to benefit, the big agitation shouldn't have gone that, way it did. Today, the matter has gone beyond them. Every criminal, kidnapper, armed robbers tend to claim that IPOB. And IPOB in turn is fighting them. But I think it's late. So we desire peace. We desire to save the lives of our people. And so we are willing to engage to see that we have, amicable settlement and, rebuild, the economy of Southeast. The starting point. You see, the leaders of Southeast, of course not all of them, they must be selected leaders. And already the Ohanese and Chief Mbazulike is already, in the forefront. And they have always been briefing me, and so I've joined them together with Southeast governors. So that could be the starting point, and we'll be able to know what we want. We want peace. And so there are things we must give up to, acquire that peace. Because if we are not being fairly treated, and some people feel we are not being fairly treated, we should be able to, constructively show to the federal government the areas we think that we are not being fairly treated. Not through hate speeches, not through violence. I don't believe in all those things, Because even in homes, in families, the wife or husband or children, we still have one or two against the family. But they should be able to discuss. If you listen to me very well, Mr. President has never, been in disagreement for peace, anything that will bring peace. But you must allow him, for what he believes in and for his pedigree and integrity, not to interfere with the judiciary. But it is up to us, because the byproduct of our discussion and negotiation is such that we can now go to, the court and seek for out-of-court settlement. And whatever is the agreement becomes the settlement of the court. So I believe strongly that, a political solution, will be far better than the process, which may last for a very long time. Thank you. I hope I have declared.